1 month into his second term, President Donald Trump finds himself navigating a deeply divided nation. Recent polling data paints a stark picture. His approval rating is underwater. This means more Americans disapprove of his job performance than approve. It's a precarious position for any president, let alone one facing a second term. The political landscape is more polarized than ever. Trump's supporters remain steadfast in their loyalty, while his detractors are more vocal than ever. This deep division presents a significant challenge for the 45th president as he attempts to govern a nation grappling with complex issues and a widening ideological chasm. One of the recent polls, conducted in February 2025, reveals the extent of the challenge facing President Trump. With an approval rating of just 47% and a disapproval rating of 52%, the poll highlights a significant level of dissatisfaction with his performance. The margin of error, plus or minus 3.1 percentage points, underscores the statistical significance of these figures. While polls are a snapshot in time, this particular poll indicates a level of disapproval that cannot be ignored. It's a clear signal that a significant portion of the American public has reservations about the direction of the country under President Trump's leadership. Perhaps surprisingly, 75% of Americans say Trump's handling of the presidency has been as they expected. This statistic reveals a significant portion of the population had clear expectations from the start. Of those, 41% believe this is a good thing, indicating satisfaction with the status quo, while 33% consider it a bad thing, reflecting disappointment and concern. This suggests a large portion of the population had pre-existing opinions of Trump that have remained largely unchanged. Their views were likely shaped by his campaign promises and early actions in office. However, a quarter of Americans say Trump's presidency has unfolded differently than they anticipated. This group may have experienced unexpected policy changes or unforeseen events. This indicates a level of unpredictability that could be contributing to the anxiety and uncertainty felt by some segments of the population. The unexpected nature of his decisions has left many feeling uneasy. Whether this unpredictability is seen as a positive or negative attribute likely depends on individual political leanings. For some, it represents a refreshing change, while for others, it is a source of constant worry. Section 4, hot button issues. Immigration, DOGE, and spending cuts dominate the conversation. Three key issues are fueling much of the public discourse surrounding President Trump's second term: immigration reform, Elon Musk's DOGE program accessing government databases, and proposed federal workforce and spending cuts. Each of these issues taps into deep-seated anxieties and ignites passionate debate on both sides of the political spectrum. Trump's promise to execute the largest deportation of undocumented immigrants in American history has stoked fears and drawn condemnation from human rights groups. Critics argue that such measures could tear families apart and disrupt communities. Meanwhile, the revelation that Elon Musk's DOGE program, initially presented as a whimsical venture into cryptocurrency, has access to sensitive government databases and has raised serious concerns about privacy. Many are worried about the potential misuse of this data and potential abuse of power. Lastly, proposed federal workforce and spending cuts, while touted as necessary measures to rein in government spending, have sparked anxiety among those who rely on government services. Many fear that these cuts could lead to a reduction in essential services and fear the impact on the economy. The debate continues to rage on with no clear resolution in sight. Section 5, has Trump delivered? A divided public speaks. When asked whether President Trump has effectively addressed the most important problems facing the country, the American public is sharply divided. A slight majority, 55%, believe he has not adequately addressed these issues, while 45% believe he has. This division reflects the deep polarization that continues to grip the nation. Trump supporters point to a strong economy and a tough stance on immigration as evidence of his effectiveness. His detractors, however, argue that his policies have exacerbated inequality, damaged America's standing in the world, and eroded democratic norms. Section 6. Looking ahead, optimism and fear shape the future. As President Trump embarks on his second term, the American people are approaching the future with a mixture of optimism and trepidation. A slim majority, 54%, admit to feeling pessimistic or afraid about what the next 4 years hold. However, a substantial portion of the population, 46%, remain enthusiastic or optimistic about the future. This suggests that despite the deep divisions and anxieties that permeate American society, a significant number of Americans still believe in the promise of a brighter future. Section 7, the broader picture, historical context, and political implications. President Trump's underwater approval rating so early in his second term is historically significant. This low approval rating is not just a number, it reflects the broader discontent and division within the country. It places him below the average approval rating of presidents since 1953 at the same point in their presidencies. This comparison highlights the unique challenges and controversies that have marked Trump's time in office. This suggests that Trump faces an uphill battle in his efforts to unite the country and enact his agenda. The political climate is fraught with tension, making it difficult to achieve consensus on key issues. The deep partisan divide, evident in public opinion polls and reflected in the halls of Congress, further complicates matters. This division is not just among politicians, but also deeply rooted in the electorate. With neither party willing to cede ground, the prospect of meaningful legislative progress remains uncertain. The stalemate in Congress is a significant barrier to passing new laws and reforms. The political implications of these trends are far-reaching. They affect not only the current administration, but also the future of American governance and policymaking. A deeply divided electorate, coupled with a president facing historically low approval ratings, creates a volatile political landscape. This volatility can lead to unpredictable shifts in policy and governance. How these dynamics will play out over the next 4 years remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: American politics will continue to be a source of intense debate, passionate activism, and unpredictable outcomes. The nation's political future is more uncertain than ever, making it a critical period to watch.